remember, there's three kind of major equations that we use. The first one that usually we teach students with is y equals mx plus b. Right? We teach you guys how to graph using y equals mx plus b, and it's pretty, it's pretty basic. You find the y-intercept and use the slope to find your next point, right? Then what we're going to talk about here is our standard form of our equation. So the standard form of the equation is helpful because sometimes the x and y are on the same side, and it might be difficult to solve for y. However, we can use the opposite of a over b. We can figure out the slope, and we can also graph it in this form by using the x and y intercepts, right? Okay. There's another format which we call, so this is slope-intercept form. This is standard form. There's another form that's helpful, which we call point-slope form. And the reason why it's helpful is because when you have a point and you have a slope, you can use this formula, all right? So what the formula states is, let's say you have y2, let's just do y1 minus y. y1 minus y equals m times x2 minus x. Okay? So let's just call them x. All we need to do, you can see I have these different x's. The only thing that I'm doing here is the only reason why I'm doing putting in my ones here is I'm just differentiating between my variables. So it doesn't matter if I put 1 there or a 1 there. Okay, I just want to differentiate between these variables because these represent different points. All right, they don't represent the same point. So what I'm going to do is I'll actually leave it like this. All right. So this is going to be our point. These are going to represent x1 and y1. All right. If you want them to represent those two, then fine. Take out the ones and then plug them in for y and x. Okay. It doesn't matter which ones you plug them into. You just have to make sure you're consistent. Okay. So what you're going to do is we're going to plug them in. So m is our slope, right? So what we do is you just plug in your values. So I have y1, which is 2, minus, I have y minus y1. But instead of y1, we're saying 2 represents y1. So we're going to write 2 equals m, which is now -4, times x minus x1, which we'll say is 6. All right? So this is what we call point-slope form because what you did is you plugged in a point for x and y, and you have the slope. Now what you do is simplify. Distributive property. So you have y minus 2 equals -4x plus 24. Okay? Then solve for your y. And you have y equals -4x plus 26. Now that's in a slope-intercept form, which is very helpful to graph, right? So you can graph it from there, plot 26, and then your slope would be -4 over 1, right? So you go down 4 over 1. Make sense? Okay. So all you want to do for this is just make sure you plug it into that formula. Now you might say